Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, I am pleased to have a chance to address you today on this topical issue we have to discuss today. And I would like to, first of all, say that my impression is absolutely similar to what just was expressed by Monsieur Breguer. I think that we have to consider Russian-EU relations not only from the point of view of Ukrainian crisis, but first of all in a more wide global context. And I do think that Ukraine is not the beginning, it's rather the result of what has started long before, sometimes after the fall of the Soviet Union in the beginning of the 90s. We have a long list of complaints addressed to the EU, to NATO, and to the United States. And first of all, in the sphere of security. You all know that we are against, and nobody can explain to us clearly what was the reason for expansion of NATO to the east. Another question mark, and a big one, is about deployment of the anti-missile system, US anti-missile system in Europe. It's especially topical, this question is especially topical because after the deal on the Iranian nuclear program, the original reason for deployment of this system, which was put forward by the United States, is not existing anymore. And still, this program is being fulfilled. We are concerned that United States still have nuclear arms in Europe, and this arsenal is modernized. We are also concerned that our European colleagues and partners, as well as the United States, rejected the idea of signing of a treaty on European security, which can make the obligations about the indivisibility of security in Europe, about the equality in this area, about the rejection of the very idea to enhance your security, somebody's security, at the expense and to the detriment of others. These are some political obligations which were adopted in the Foundation Act between Russia and NATO, but they still are political and not obligatory in the legal sense, and we propose to make them legal obligations. We are also concerned about recent violations by the United States of the Treaty on medium and shorter range missiles. We are most concerned about widespread and repeated illegitimate use of force, starting from Yugoslavia, Iraq, Libya, Syria, where military force is used without the Security Council, UN Security Council resolutions or the invitation of the government concerned. All this is against the interests of the Russian Federation, or even detrimental for our security interests. Well, I can understand why the American authorities are pursuing such a line. I think that Washington still thinks that United States is something exceptional, that they are the only superpower in the world, and that their role is to dominate. Well, they probably think that what is good for United States is good for the rest of the world, but they are wrong. And those who do not agree with this American assumption, they are listed in sort of a blacklists and all possible measures, including interference, including colored revolutions and overthrowing of the legitimate governments. All these methods are used. What is the result of such a policy? We see that it is chaos, and this is the real cause of terrorism and violent extremism. I cannot understand why the EU is following this course as well, lying behind the United States. I've heard many times from my colleagues from the EU states that they do understand that contemporary world is a multipolar world, and Europe is one of the centers of influence. They also say to me that yes, there is a need for a new architecture of security both in Europe and globally. And this security should be collective security, cooperative security. Why Europe is mechanically following the United States, I cannot really find an answer for that. And we know to what dramatic, tragic consequences this leads. Matter of factly, the influx of refugees from the Middle East and North Africa to Europe is certainly a result of this wrong policy. We warned many times our European colleagues that this is something very wrong and this shouldn't be done, and their course should be changed. We were not listened to. We also warned them, both Brussels and Washington, that Ukraine shouldn't be put before the choice between Europe, European Union and Russia. They didn't listen to us, and they actually did exactly what I said. They put Kiev, Ukraine between such a choice, which is absolutely counterproductive and which is actually provoked the crisis. We think and we hope that parties concerned can and should implement the Minsk agreements. And this will bring stability to Ukraine. We also understand how difficult it is for Kiev to implement Minsk agreements. But we are convinced that there is no other way from this very dangerous and ominous crisis Ukraine is going through. If this happens, I think that this would be a good starting point for improvement of relations between Russia and the EU. But EU should also keep in mind that all these concerns I expressed previously, they are not going to disappear. We need to sit and to negotiate seriously about how we can build a new system, a new architecture of security and cooperation in Europe. And I think, we still think that OSCE is a good mechanism for this. As far as the pressure which is exerted on Russia, both from Washington, from Brussels, well, it's everybody probably know that Russians are endurable, and we're passionate and patient and can cope with our difficulties. And not only with our own, we are ready to help others, like Syria. Well, and as from the positive side, I would like to also mention that it was a good proposal, originally came from Minister Steinmeier, and then reiterated in the Minsk agreements, that there should be attempts should be undertaken in order to integrate Eurasian Economic Union and European Union. Recently, the Eurasian Economic Commission handed over to European Commission a related memorandum on this particular issue, and we hope that this can start real consultations, substantive consultations on this issue. We also have a number of issues, outstanding issues in the positive agenda between Russia and the EU. We are still interested in continuation of negotiations on visa regimes. We still have on the table the agreements about constructing of 4 joint spaces, meaning economic space, external security space, legal and space, and also scientific and cultural space. We have good prospects, if this is recognized by Brussels, for cooperation in the energy sphere, especially gas and oil. We have also good opportunities in developing of regional cooperation, northern dimension, and also cooperation in the Baltic Sea. But we need to have 2 to tango. As for now, we are not certainly optimistic, because sanctions are still operated. And I would like to say that unilateral sanctions which were introduced against Russia are illegitimate, because this was done unilaterally and not through the Security Council. Next thing is that they destroy the natural course of development of business and market. And finally, I would like to say that they also violate human rights, meaning right for development, right for labor, and right for free movement. I hope that...
Monsieur l'ambassadeur, si vous pouviez peut-être un petit peu...
Last word. I hope that this will be overcome, and we will be on the right path to cooperation and common security in Europe, not otherwise. Thank you.